Treylon Burks' combine. What does it mean? So this is a guy. Quick history is um, showed up as a true freshman at Arkansas, stood out immediately. He led the team in receiving as a true freshman, and then went on to lead the team in both reception or all three receptions, yards, and touchdowns for the next 2 seasons as a sophomore and a junior. Finally, topping out over 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns last year as a junior. And granted, this is in the SEC. Really spectacular athlete, did mostly all you could ask for as a prospect in terms of production at a, typically less talented, depth chart and team context at Arkansas than, say, obviously Alabama or LSU. But still, anybody who comes onto the field as a true freshman in the SEC and commands those targets and does that production, we have to really take a look. Additionally, the guy was returning punts and kicks as a true freshman, and when you hear his weight, that's going to even blow your mind a little bit more. He checked in the combine at 6'2", 225 pounds. Now, if you pay attention to BMI, I believe that was the highest of the entire combine, tipping those scales at a BMI approaching 29, which is humongous. The other really big BMI I can remember, I think Laviska Shenault a couple of years ago hit 30. But really, it's a threshold thing. Bigger is not necessarily better once you hit the threshold, but that's about 26 to 27. He clears that easily. He also had huge hands, almost 10 inches. For a wide receiver, that's massive. Even though I think there was a little bit of joking about, did he really need size 4XL gloves? But massive hands for a wide receiver. And then the testing comes around. And I think people certainly expected like that DK Metcalf absolutely wowing you with otherworldly athleticism at a size like that. He didn't quite do that. 40-yard dash ended up at a 4.55. His vert was 33. That's disappointing. You usually like to see it closer to 36, 37, 38. Even if some guys hit 40, but it's not terrible. It's just not as impressive as we kind of thought he might give us. His broad jump was 122. That's 2 inches over the average for a wide receiver. So a little better than average, but again, not freaky like I think was expected. His 3-cone drill was a little bit above the average as well. So that wasn't extra special. I've seen people throw around, N'Keal Harry comps now after this combine. And N'Keal Harry had tremendous production as well. But I think that's not fair. What we saw him do at an SEC level as a young guy, he returned the punts. You love to see special teams work early on in your career. It just shows that you're dynamic. You can move in space. I personally am not having an issue with Burks' combine. I think it could drop him down some NFL boards because a lot of this is a fear-based decision, and you don't want to be wrong at the level they're dealing with, the money they're dealing with. There are, I think, some organizations that will shy away because he didn't blow up the combine. History has shown us some of these decisions were made. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think he could slide down. I think he was the consensus wide receiver 1 for many people, many mocks that I looked at. I think that could be in jeopardy in terms of being the first wide receiver off the board. I think he'll probably still be a first round. He maybe slides into the second round if teams are really scared off. But I still think the odds would be in favor of him continuing to be a first-round pick. He's been a first-round pick throughout this entire process. I don't think the combine was dreadful enough to knock him out of that range. But I don't know if he'll be the first receiver taken anymore, which previously I think was kind of a slam dunk. Now, so overall, I mean, we're not talking about a big change in the expectation or the draft capital, anything like that. And the production in the SEC, I think, speaks for itself. So, again, I'm saying not too detrimental to his status, but also he didn't win the combine. We'll say that much. Teams that looked at him, I could confirm some meetings with the Pats, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Chargers. All those obviously are very fun landing spots. The Pats, and now that they have Mac Jones, who is certainly able to get that ball out and spread the wealth there to multiple receivers. The Eagles would be not as fun. I mean, they've got Devontae Smith there. There's questions about Jalen Hurts as a passer. So I think that would be, from a fantasy angle, and a production angle, maybe the least exciting. Then you've got the Jets. They need an Alpha X wide receiver, but Burks is certainly more versatile than just an Alpha X. You can use him in a variety of interesting ways. Him and Elijah Moore would probably be very interesting to see. And then Chargers, yeah, give me anybody with Justin Herbert. And they need another guy. I mean, Mike Williams may or may not be there. That's still a little up in the air. And then Keenan Allen is great, but getting older and kind of more of a slot guy. So a dynamic outside threat to command some attention away from Allen, and then Eckler out of the backfield. And then you got Justin Herbert. So Chargers is one of the top 3 landing spots for any wide receiver, and you'd love to see it with Burks there as well. One team I didn't confirm had a meeting was the Bills, and I know that they've been mentioned as kind of a potential landing spot for a number of receivers, including a guy like Burks. So I didn't see that. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I just didn't see any articles saying that they met. Okay. Stick with Campus to Canton. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe to this. We're going to keep putting out these little shorts about what the combine means for various players, and enjoy your mock draft season.